My sexy maid. When love blossom. Chapter 5. Sir, Mia called, tapping him, and he snapped out of his imagination. Oh sorry, he said and went to his room. Mia went into the kitchen and dished his food in a tray, then she went to give him in his room. Sir, this is your food, she said and wanted to leave when he called her back. From tomorrow you will be staying here. But sir, I have a younger brother at home and he will not be able to take care of my father. You can go to check them during weekends. Okay, you will move here by next week, he said. Okay sir, she said, not having a choice again. Goodbye sir, she said and left. Alexander also changed his clothes and he sat comfortably and began devouring the meal, enjoying every taste of it. All through the way home Mia began thinking of how Alexander was staring at her. Why is he staring at me in such a way? Is he falling for me? That can't be possible, she said, then brought out the phone and began staring at it. Wow, he is really kind, she said, putting it back in the carton. After a while she got home and paid the cabman, then she entered the house. She met no one in the living room and she wondered if Karen has not gotten back. She went to check him in his room and saw him playing video games in his phone. Welcome back sis, he said, not taking his eyes off his phone. So you don't miss me at all? She asked. I am busy now sis. Okay, no dinner for you tonight, she said and leave. On hearing that, he dropped his phone and rushed out of his room. I am sorry sis, forgive me, he said with a pleading eyes. Foodie, she said and laughed. Okay, I have heard you, she said, and they both sat on the couch. How was work today? Work is fine as always, she said and brought out the phone he bought for her. What is this? Open it, she said, giving it to him. Wow, this is really beautiful and expensive, he shouted. Alexander is really nice, please let me see him for once. Okay, I will let him know. Thanks sis, he said. She collected the phone from him and they both went to prepare dinner and they ate and went to sleep. Alexander was in his room and could not sleep. He could not get the face of Mia off his head. What have she done to me? Just 2 days of her working here, I am already attracted to her, he said, and then he saw himself sweating, then his claws and fangs began coming out. He tried to control it but it was to no avail. He completely transformed into his werewolf form and he stood up from the bed roaring angrily. He began destroying things in his room. After some times he calmed down and he transformed back to his human form. Seeing what he had done, he began to rearrange everything with his power. When will I become a complete human? I hate being a werewolf, he said to himself. After arranging everything, he slept off. The next day, Mia and Karen woke up and did their usual routine, then they decided to go to the hospital to see how their father was faring before going their way. They got to the hospital and they were taken to his ward. They got there and met their father awake. Karen quickly rushed to him. Welcome back Dad. Thank God you are okay again, Karen said, hugging him. Mia also moved close to him. I am glad you are fine Dad. How are my babies doing? He asked. We are fine Dad, I thought we have lose you Dad. No, you will never lose me, I am okay now, he said to them. Glad to have you back Dad, they said, hugging him. Then Mia went to the doctor's office. She got to the doctor's office and sit down. How is my dad doing now doctor? Is he okay to go home now? She asked. Well, with the test carried out on him, it shows he is fine, but his wound need to dry before he will be discharged, I am sure in 2 days. Time he will be okay, the doctor said. Okay doctor, she said and left back to her father's ward. Okay Dad, we will come to check on you later, we need to go now. Bye Dad, Karen said, and they both went out of his ward. They got out and they both boarded a separate cab. Mia got to Alexander's mansion and entered, then she dropped her bag and began her work. Karen also got to school and he went to his class, ignoring girls staring at him. Anytime the girls stare at him like that, he will always smile at them, but this is different. He did not smile at them, he just went to his class and he suddenly remembered Eliza's face and he smiled to himself. Damien got to his side. Why are you smiling at yourself? He asked, and Damien quickly stopped smiling. How long have you been here? He asked. So long to see you smile foolishly at yourself. Say that again and you will blame yourself, he said playfully. Sorry sir, but why are you smiling? Is there something on your mind? He said, and Karen wanted to reply him when he saw Eliza coming into the class and he smiled again. Then Damien looked ahead to see why he was smiling and he saw Eliza and he immediately understand the reason for his smile. You have already fallen for her, just yesterday. I don't know, she is so beautiful, he said, and just then Eliza got to them and sat down. Hello, I am Karen, Karen said to her. Glad to know you, I am. She was saying when Karen stopped her. I know your name, he said, and she smiled at him. You look so beautiful, he said. Thanks, you look really handsome also, she said and Karen smiled. Sorry, this is my friend Damien, he said pointing to Damien. Nice to know you, she said shaking hands with Damien. And you too. Can we be friends? Karen asked. We are already friends, she said and then the teacher entered the class and they all stopped talking. Mia was working when Alexander came down and he began staring at her as she was working. Mia noticed someone staring at her and she looked up to see him. Good morning, sir, she said bowing respectfully. Morning, I see you came early today. Yes, sir. Okay, he said and went into the kitchen to prepare breakfast. Mia left what she was doing and rushed to him. Let me do it, sir. Don't worry, go and continue what you are doing. I am done, sir. Okay, sit down and watch me cook, he said and she sat down. You are such a gentleman, your wife will really enjoy you. Well, I am also now tea down there, he said. Such a flirt, she said. A flirt for you, darling, he said. What did you say, sir? Pretend I never say that, he said to her. Then the place became quiet. Mia began staring at him, watching him do his thing. He is really perfect in everything. I wish he could be my boyfriend, she said, staring at him. I see I am really handsome to see you staring at me without blinking, he said. You wish. Really, he said, moving closer to her and seeing their body close to each other had an effect on her. She found her heart racing rapidly. They stayed like that staring at each other. It was lunch break and Karen went out together with Eliza and Damien. He held Eliza's hand and she also did not protest. They got to the cafeteria and met three empty and they both sat down and Karen made sure he sit with Eliza. They ordered for what they wanted to eat and they began eating. While eating, Karen keep on staring at Eliza and Damien noticed this but said nothing. Why do you keep staring at me? Won't you eat your food? Eliza asked. You are just so beautiful, he said. Keep on flattering me. I am serious. I have heard you. Now eat, young man, she said. Yes, ma, he said and began eating in a fast way and both Eliza and Damien could not help but laugh. After a while they both went back into the class and as they were about seating a guy suddenly approached Karen. I will warn you. Stay from her, he said pointing to Eliza. Who are you to tell him that? By the way, he is my boyfriend. That must be a joke, he said. Really? She said and slammed her lips against Karen's own. To be continued.